Welcome. 2025 is here, and I'm so excited just to kind of see what the season has in store. I haven't done a collective reading just yet, but I'm going to start. So let's just start in general with what is going to be kind of in the timeline for 2025. I want you to take this time to close your eyes, to ground down, to invite some space, set an intention for this practice, as this is also a very intentional practice. My intention here is to bring you wisdom, to bring you sincere wisdom. I'm hearing that from a space that allows you to align this divine message and implement it into your daily life, your routines, whatever it is that you will be implementing this wisdom for. I'm using 2 tarot decks, like I mentioned. I'm going to be using more of a traditional tarot deck, and I will be using more of a Muse tarot deck today to kind of just invite some inspiration, some moments of freedom. I really love this deck. I really love both of these decks. So every now and then I'll kind of mix it up. Let's get started with just the divine message. Okay, take the first couple of months of 2025 to make wise decisions that work for you and your well-being. There's something in the scopes of the realm, and as we start playing more with tarot, we'll see what that is. But for everyone, the first thing that I'm hearing is take your time to make the decisions that are best for you. There's going to be a space now that you're going to be running into that creates space in your life. So what this means to me is that the judgment card is present as the first one, which translates to me that things are going to be closing, things are going to be coming into an end, and there's a new chapter. And with that, there's a whole new world. So there's a whole new world being called to explore. So this season, it's funny, but like this season, January, there's a lot of new energy and a lot of closing of old energy. So this is going to be a theme for the first month of January. We're going to start to see that. That's a theme that kind of plays out into the spiritual aspects of the daily journey. Something that I'm feeling too, and I have been feeling it for a long time, so I just want to share with you, is make sure that you're taking time to also pray to your ancestors, to align with your divine wisdom, to align with some energetic that maybe is not just your own energy. This can be taking time to pray to your guardian angels, taking time to have a moment to connect to your spirit guide, to your spirit, to that spirit part of you. One of the ways that I actually been doing is connecting to different versions of myself, and I can explain that in another video, but that's how I've been connecting to other portals within myself. And for you, it can be ancestral, it can be angels, it can be animals, it can be, spirit guides, it can be different versions of yourself. All right, so with each closing, new opportunities arise. So it won't be long where you find yourself in a space of, saying yes to something that might be coming into your life. There's a new yes that's been waiting for you to happen, whether you've been waiting to hear, like, yes, I'm ready for a new opportunity. I'm waiting for, like, the divine. I'm waiting for this space to come into alignment for me. I'm so happy that you have found yourself here in this space, because if you're receiving this message, rather than saying no to the things that weren't working for you, this is saying yes. Say yes to new opportunities. Celebrate these new opportunities. Celebrate endings happening in your life. Good things require this ending to happen. So take your time to kind of create the space in your life that you might need or might have needed to. All right, this one I'm feeling slightly a little bit more for the world, and it does feel like to me that it is it has to do a little bit with like the environment. So we're gonna notice that there's gonna be a big shift around March that it kind of pops off once again. And this requires for us to kind of work as a community. So make sure that during this time that you're, making sure that you're checking in on the people that you care about, people that are in your households, in your spaces, because there is something coming in the sense of environment, a big change and a big shift, and something that requires for us to work together. So start building your community now. Get to know your neighbors, get to, align with your friends. Make sure you memorize phone numbers, places, people. Just have your ducks in a row in that sense. Just because, as we can all feel, 2024 was, even though it wasn't as major as 2020, I would think that it was even a little more intense, just because there was a lot of shifts and there was a lot of unknown. And the theme kind of continues, but this time it does feel like, okay, the places that you're going to feel the safest are the spaces that you have community and have taken care of. And safety becomes something that we're all like longing for this year, to feel safe in our body, to feel safe in our minds, to feel safe in our hearts. This also comes with the decision that I do, and this is something that I have been actually feeling psychically for a while, is that you're going to see a lot of people leaving. And this can be, taken in context of people transcending into, their soul, leaving their body into another heavenly place or another space. Or it can even, which has been the one that I've been feeling more, actually I've been feeling both, but leaving into a space of moving. So you're going to see that there's a lot of people that are going to be moving in and out of spaces, whether your hometown, whether you yourself are like, well, I'm contemplating moving. Moving is going to be a very big theme for a lot of us this year. So wherever you decide to go, this can come as an opportunity. This could also come as, relatives leaving Earth. Like, this is something that I know sometimes we don't want to talk about, because death is, one of those things that it's not that we don't want to experience it, but we don't want to foreshadow it. But I do think that a lot of souls are getting the call back to go home. And I know that sounds like, whoa, what is she talking about? But you'll see there's a lot of people that are going to be leaving Earth. And with that being said, there's also a lot of new souls. Okay, so around June energy, you're going to start to notice that there's going to be new leadership. And this new leadership is going to kind of test a lot of the divine feminine. With that being said, I want to say that make sure that you are protecting the women in your life. Like, there is something about, women not necessarily being protected like they should be. And I think that this is a message for everybody to realize, like, without women, we can't survive. We can't, we need their intelligence. We need their intelligence. We need their wisdom. But there is something about around June that really does kind of test that divine feminine energy. And this is not to scare anybody, but this is the message that I'm being called to channel today. Which, to be honest, is something that is very new to me, as I'm like, whoa, what's going to happen in June? And this is going to bring into balance the divine masculine. When there is, I think, if we're really truly being honest, the divine masculine has been out of balance, and for a lot of different reasons, right? Whether society has changed, whether we ourselves have changed, divine masculine has been going through something. And in the space of going through something, it is a hierarchy. Like, unfortunately, women cannot survive without the energy of masculine energy. It's just like yin and yang. It's just like the elements, air, water, fire, earth. They all need each other to kind of coexist. And you're going to see that this is going to be even more chaotic than we are experiencing. But at the same time, this shift in the divine feminine really brings into balance the divine masculine energy, which requires for us to kind of, for me, what I'm hearing is protect the women in your life. Make sure you're taking care of, your mothers, your aunts, your sisters, your daughters, this people that feel like very feminine in your life. And this requires for the men in our lives to kind of step up and to allow there to be a moment to realize like, hey, I need to protect the women in my life. I dropped my tarot deck. Give me 1 second. Thank God for editing. All right. So with that said, that's in June, the divine feminine experiences. A shock to the system. That's really what I'm kind of receiving. I'm going to do one more for just a theme that we're going to see this year. Ooh, okay. So for the last thing that I'm seeing for this year is the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords really lets us know that there is going to be change that happens, and this change might feel uncomfortable. And in this space of feeling uncomfortable, there is going to be new leadership. I don't feel like the leadership that we are currently experiencing is going to last that long, because it does feel like there is a lack of balance within this leadership, and this can be environmental, this can be our own leadership within ourselves. But what it's saying here is like, this is an opportunity for you to discover, okay, what kind of leader do I want to be in this world, in my communities, in my friendships, in my life, in the themes in my life. So as we're kind of seeing, 2025 is going to be a very transformational year, and it requires a lot of endings, right? So the first line that we were reading was like, 2025 is about letting things end. Things coming into a close. The second one is inviting new opportunity, inviting success, inviting freedom, inviting however it wishes. The next one is balancing of the yin and yang, balancing of the divine and the feminine, taking care of feminine energy. That's something that, I can't stress enough that that's exactly what I heard. So this to me also, like with the divine feminine, I also feel like make sure that your rituals around, your like, whether you believe in saints or something like that, like that kind of energy is also going to be something that's going to be called to regenerate. And with that, chaos follows, and this is just chaos follows, but it's good chaos. Peace cannot exist without chaos following, in a sense. So make sure that you have your, saddled up for 2025.